People are asking me if I feel snubbed by the Barstool Sports, Bob Does Sports Internet Invitational. And we're going to get into that and my thoughts. I've been seeing this, thinking about it, digesting all of it, and trying to see exactly how do I feel. Because initially you're like, oh, like I wasn't invited. So when all the invites come out, if I'm feeling something snubbed all of the sudden, that's a me problem, in my opinion. Because if there is no Internet Invitational, then what do I, there's nothing, then I go on making the content that I create. And that's just the way it is. That's what I do anyways, right? My mindset, my content strategy is to make content for you, the viewer who watches my channel, this channel, or, let's say my main channel, Mr. Short Game Golf on whatever, right? We make content for the viewer. That's my number one objective. Now, this comes out just because something all of a sudden exists that didn't exist before shouldn't affect my energy, my emotions, and the things that I do moving forward. Because I don't do what I do to get invited to things like this. I do what I do so that you, the viewer, have something that contains three things. Always has been for me. One is entertaining, right? Two is, and not in any particular order, but I want them to contain these three things. Entertaining. I want you to get something for free, like some information, some teaching, something for free. And then I want you to feel like we know each other. So either you know more about me, and hopefully that leads me to know more about you. So I really take the time to try to understand who the viewer is so that we feel like we are friends. That's what I want. And so I spend a lot of time going to the public driving ranges, going to public golf courses, playing, just showing up and playing, because that's what I would normally do regardless of what I do for a living now. So I'm going to continue to do those things because that helps me connect with the people that watch my channel. All right. So different people are asking me about this Internet Invitational, and they're saying, do you feel snubbed? So that's why I did that little prequel. So initially I could say, I guess I did feel a little snubbed, but then I kind of understand why I do what I do. And I'm like, nah, it's not a big deal. But then somebody said this to me: do you think you didn't get invited because of age discrimination? I was like, what? So I never really thought about it like that. And then I was kind of looking at everybody and I'm like, maybe, I don't know. I didn't think it until you brought it up, but maybe they didn't want, I'm one of the older content creators. And so maybe they wanted to go with this younger generation because those are the people watching and in the most, numbers potentially, right? So then they look at me and say, now we could go through that list and look at all the numbers and say, how many views does your channel get a month? How many views is yours? So, and if I do that, then I would probably feel snubbed because my channel does outperform. I mean, my main channel is one of the top 15 YouTube golf channels on the platform, not counting short form content, just long form. If you looked at that, over 2 million views a month. So if I just looked at that and went through the list, yeah, that could affect me. But then I had to go back and say, well, I do what I do because of the content I want to create for the viewer. I want you to get better. I want you to get better faster. I want you to have a good time doing it. And I didn't like instruction the way I got it when I first started, and it didn't help me. So I wanted to give it out in a way that helped me and a way that helped my kids perform at the top levels. And I wanted to share it with other people. So that's why I do what I do. Now, that being said, if I were invited to this, would I go? I want everybody to know that, yes, I would go. 100% I would be there. And I would be there for a number of reasons. One is to build relationships with other content creators, because you just never know who you might connect with and who you might later, really make some great content together with that would benefit the viewer. Now, through my time kind of digesting this, I ran across a lot of different opinions, and I want you to look at a few of those, and we'll kind of react to these together. Carol Priscilla says this: usually I don't say anything, but there are so many talented female golfers in the content space they could have had out. This is honestly disappointing. And then we've got just a lot of people. Bryce Coop Golf says asterisk to whoever wins because me and Taylor Gooch aren't in the field. All right. And shout out to Bryce Coop Golf. I'm not sure how he goes by, but nonetheless, I did watch one of his instructional videos the other day, and it kind of helped my golf swing. So shout out to him. Good job doing what you're doing. Kind of hit the algorithm, hit me, and I was like, that's what I need. And then Dave Pink's post again, like, no, if his follower sent him this Barstool sausage fest. Okay. So again, I could go there, right? We can all go there and say, hey, look at me. Look, I'm not saying he's doing this, but I looked at myself personally and say, oh, I could single out people on this list for the Internet Invitational and say, oh, I should be there, not them. Here's why. And you're always going to be able to say that no matter what. And I'm going to give you a good example of why I don't do this. There's a guy that is in this. He goes by The Jet. Okay, I'm going to single him out personally. And he is like with Bob Does Sports crew, was either one of their camera guys, producer, editor, does stuff for Bob Does Sports. So you could look at him and say, why is he in there? This guy's not a content creator. He shouldn't be in there. And now I'm going to rewind a little bit. Let's go back to when Bob Does Sports kind of was beginning, and he said to The Jet, like, I don't have any money to pay you. I can't pay you. And he said, look, but I'll tell you what, if you stick with me until we land, I'll make it worth your while. Like, I'll be loyal to you. So shout out to Robbie Berger for being loyal to his man, The Jet, and saying, hey, dude, you get to play in this. You were loyal to me. I'm paying it back here. And he's not that he hasn't paid it back since, but he's giving him an opportunity. So to single him out, right? For example, for me, I'd be like, well, that's not cool, because if somebody was that loyal with me, I would go to the ends of the earth for them. And so Robbie, knowing he could get potential pushback because he's in this field and not necessarily a content creator, good for him, right? He knows it could happen, yet he does it anyways. He's being true to his dude who was on his side, had his back, worked for free at the early stages of Bob Does Sports. So now, spread that out amongst everybody in this list who we don't know. We don't know all the ties and stuff like that. So I'm not going to just sit up here and say, personally, I should be there. I don't know if I should be there or not. I don't know if it would benefit my audience or not. I know my audience is super loyal, and they're super, just passionate about golf, and they love to improve. They love to get better. They love entertainment. So I'm grateful for my audience. Would this be good for them? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. But I can't say I should take the place. I'm not going to say I should take the place of this person or that person. I mean, I'll leave that up to you. I know you guys are pretty vocal about that. But another thing I do consider is, what will this end product look like? And this is kind of the final piece here. We have 48 players. And if you think about it, Good did tournaments like this. They did just take their Desert Open and their Midwest Open that they did, and they had a number of players live broadcast, and a lot of players never got any real airtime. A shot, maybe. So it was really focused on a few of the players who were, let's say, the top YouTubers or content creators at that time. And the rest of everybody really didn't get much airtime. So again, how is this going to look for these 48 players? I know that that's always going to be a challenge. Is it live? How's it going to work? How are you going to generate enough, benefit for each player there? That's going to be something that I guess we're going to wait to see. But nonetheless, I think what's going to happen is, my prediction is, it's going to go off. There's going to be a lot of learning curves that are going to have to get worked out. And so this first one is probably going to be a bit rough. And be like, all right, here's what we need to tighten up. And the field will most likely get reduced, just like the live duels field has already been reduced from like 6 to 5 to 4. It's 4 creators, 4 pros. So now that's where it is. So they're constantly adjusting things. That's what I think is going to happen here, is that it's going to be honed in. And you'll know, like, hey, these are the people that generate the most excitement. So people have strong opinions of this. What's your thoughts? Who would you like to see there? What do you think is going to happen in the future? How is this going to play out as we move forward? Either way, I'm going to tune in. I'm going to watch best I can and give my 2 cents where it's due. That's my take. I hope it's as exciting as the build-up. We'll see. We'll see you later.